It is okay to love yourself and be your best friend. You just have to make the choice to. And I know in the road of feeling like you can't and being like, that's so far from my brain, but it really does boil down to making that choice and sticking to that choice. And some days are going to be harder than other days, but always constantly re-choosing to love yourself and to forgive yourself and be your best friend is something we can do every day. And the more we do it, the better we get at it.
Do you have a big event coming up? Maybe speaking, hosting, or maybe you have a booth somewhere? Would you like to go to that event? As a podcaster, we can make it happen in just 7 days or less. So let me know if you want to be tomorrow's next influencer.
Has your life, your dreams been interrupted? Good news. It is possible to reinvent our lives. People are doing it every day, and some are brave enough to share the struggles, disappointments, and challenges. If you are looking for a new beginning, a do-over, or to rediscover your passion, maybe even find a new one, then grab a cup of coffee and let's talk. Interrupted, Act 2, Reinventing Your Legacy, with your host, Coach Laurie.
Felicia Dahm is a conscious lifestyle and wellness coach and podcaster. Congratulations. I love your podcast. And I have to say this, you are an amazing interviewer. And there's only a couple people that I have been able to say that to when I've been on their podcast, and you are definitely one of them. So good job. Good work. Welcome.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me on your podcast, Laurie. And thank you. It is such a big compliment to receive. I'm really excited because when I first started, as you know, I was very nervous about even getting started in this. And I feel like because I looked at it as the more reps I put in, the more that I do, the more that I painfully listen to myself in the recordings, the more I'm going to learn about what I like, what I don't like, how to speak. And I'm just continuing to evolve. And I'm so happy that that's showing through.
And I love it that you were like, you had this event coming up, and it's like, let's go to this event as a podcaster and say, listen to my podcast. And you were right on it. You made it happen within, I think it was 5 days, not 7.
No, I think it was like 3 days because
Yeah.
it was so short. I had gotten the things over and out and everything just in like this condensed short amount of time that I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
I was so excited with you about that. I was like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall, and I actually had something else that day, so I couldn't be there, but so proud of you. So let's start off with what you do and what you love about it.
Yes, I'm a conscious lifestyle and wellness coach. I really got into this space because of my own transformation, my own journey through really mindset and being more aware. I like to help women, and right now I'm helping them with anything really, but within weight loss, because that was so strongly tied to my evolution. I also had gotten into Reiki as well. Through that, I have a deeper understanding and knowledge of the energy systems within the body and the chakra system. So I like to incorporate that in my teachings, in my work, in my workshops. And I am really excited. I have not officially launched anything yet, but I have started to create a wellness circle where people can join, and we do Reiki, we do journal work, we do like this healing release work. We're going to be doing workshops on different things that are really opening up our awareness, our mind-body connection. And I started to do it within a group and just doing Zoom meetings, but now I'm looking to expand that on another platform. And so I'm super excited to be able to present that out because I really feel like this is something that is really needed, and I wanted to bring it to the public in a more affordable manner where they can, people can join, groups can join, and we're just holding this really loving, healing space for each other and growing and evolving together.
What I really love about it is you got a transformation, and then you wanted to share it, and then you want to do it in a way of community. And that's how we heal, and that's how we grow. As an early entrepreneur back in the 80s, I didn't really have that support. We didn't have internet. I didn't really know other moms that were doing home businesses unless they were in my community at a street fair or something.
Yeah.
I love that you're trying to create this environment where we can continue to grow and lean on each other and learn and be better versions of ourselves.
Thank you. Yes, I'm super excited as well. It has been a long journey for me. I really want to reach out to, that old version of myself that heard my mentor and coach say, I just decided one day that I was going to love myself and I wasn't going to talk bad about myself. And that's how it was. And at that moment that I heard that, I was so far from that and so disconnected from that that I was like, how can you even do that? Like, how can we even get there? And now that I'm in that space where I understand it and I can accept it and I'm like my own best friend, I am like, oh my gosh, this is accessible to everybody. And I want the masses to know it. I want to hold that space for everybody and have it be something that we're all evolving and growing together. Because really, like you said, that community is so, so important, especially when we're growing and evolving, because sometimes that road can feel really lonely and it's so nice to have support.
And when we've got the community, it's not just one thing. Like, I think sometimes there's this, my way is the way. And when we're in community, we're like, what's worked for you? What hasn't worked for
Yeah,
you? Like, the same thing isn't going to work for all of us.
right.
There's going to be a shift and a personalization. And even I see in recovery, people do EMDR, they do tapping, they do different types of coding. It's like what works for one person might not work for another, and that doesn't make anybody good or bad. It's like
Mhm.
let's have all the options so we can heal rather than feeling more bad about ourselves. And that is a very bad sentence.
Yeah, but no, it's so true. Early on, I had gotten caught up in the like, I need to know everything or I need to be able to present it in a certain way and do all the things. But I recently had a coach that so brilliantly said, if you are not being yourself and you're inauthentic, you're going to be 50% liked by people and 50% not. But if you're authentically you, you're still going to be 50% of people are going to like you, 50% of people aren't. Why not just do it the way that feels good to you and feels aligned to you and be your most authentic self? And I absolutely love that because it's so true. We don't always have to, I mean, I think it's good to try things and see what we like, but we don't always have to adapt everybody's method and everybody's thing because sometimes it's not for us. And that's just not either it's not your community, it's not your people, or it's not your avenue to go down. And I think that that's okay.
I love that. I love that. So, what was your interrupted moment?
I would say I had gotten into a space where I was like really, really in I would say a depression. I remember being on my phone and thinking like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Not everybody feels like this. And I just feel so lost. Like I hated my life. And no matter what I did, it didn't seem like anything it wasn't fulfilling because I wasn't doing it from a space of love. I was doing everything from a space of punishment and a space of, I don't deserve this. I remember going onto Pinterest and looking up like best self-help like things. And I think it was podcasts at the time they were kind of getting popular. And I found the Life Coach School. And from there, I like binged all the episodes and it really changed like instantly how I viewed what's going on in my life and how I'm showing up in my life and how I'm creating a lot of these emotions that I'm in and my thoughts that I'm in. I was like creating all of that. And when I took that ownership back, that's really when my life started changing. It was that moment. And I always try to think back. And I think it was just when you get into a space where you're like, okay, I can either go on and be miserable or I can try to fix this. I feel like that's the space that really changes and you're just like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to look at? And maybe it's divine download or what have you that makes you say like, look up this. But that's really when everything changed and then from there I've always wanted to I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, I want to do what I want to feel. I want people to feel how she's making me feel. Like, I want to be that. And I was just so like engrossed in it and just like mesmerized by it that I was like, oh, that's so beautiful and amazing. And it made me feel so deeply and have such deep awareness of myself and empowering that I want to be able to do that or help people with that.
There's that saying, and sometimes it feels a little woo woo, but it says, when you're ready, the teacher will come. And it's like
Yeah.
you said, that download, it's like all of a sudden you get an idea to go somewhere, look at something, and then things start to shift. And I think it's that willingness to be a seeker.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny too because when I kind of got on this path, I was so into the mindset and so into the awareness work. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the best coach. I just want to engross myself with all things mind. There's a psychic story podcast, and I had a reading with Nicole from that podcast. And I think it was when I was doing my Reiki training. And I asked her something about my work, and she said, I know you really want to do this mindset, but there's other modalities that you're going to do. That's just one tool in your toolkit. And when she said that, I was like, you're so wrong. Like, no, this is the only tool in my tool. Like, this is the main tool in my toolkit. And she's like, that is not going to be the main tool. And it's so funny because when I really got into the chakra work and the energy work and the body system work, I realized that it is just one piece of my toolkit, but I have so much more within me and to develop within my spiritual abilities and within just like understanding the body, the energy systems. There's so much to learn. It's a lot bigger and a lot more than what I had thought originally. And so it's just kind of funny to think about that. It was like 2 years ago that I was like, no, you're wrong. This is it. And then from where I'm at now, I'm like, that is just a small piece, but there's so much more.
It seems like it's hard for people to realize that everything is connected.
Yeah, it's funny because when you're getting into mindset work and just enhancing your awareness is so good and it's so enlightening. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like creating so many things. But then there's also this other piece of how the body can hold stored trauma, how your energy system can hold events and past things. And really, when we're suppressing those things, those memories, we can push them down so much where they can actually cause diseases within our body. They can cause ailments. They can cause problems within our energy system. And it's so important to work on releasing that. And that's really getting into the like body work, the somatic work of it. And one thing that I talk to my clients about and what I really want to emphasize, and it's like, yeah, I love if you have a goal to lose weight, it's amazing. But what I really want to teach people is how to love themselves internally and how to tune into their bodies. Because the black and white might be exercise, eat better, but what's really important is understanding what your body is saying, what your body likes and dislikes, what feels good for you, and also processing those past emotions that have kept you in these loops of either self-sabotage, overeating, not wanting to exercise, body shaming, all of these things that you've suppressed and you've kept down, they don't go away by eating healthy and exercising. Those are things that we have to work on within our energy system, within our body, and really tuning in, paying attention to our thoughts, paying attention to what our sensations are within our body.
I had an interview with Tara Allison, and she is a podcaster and an amazing photographer. And she went to a doctor and said, I got to lose weight. Help me lose weight. And he sent her to a trauma counselor. And what
Mm,
she realized was she had had something happen when she was a kid. She tried to tell her mom, who knows what her mom did, but felt brushed under the rug, whether it was or not, she didn't know. And she said, oh, that was a long time ago. It doesn't matter. I'm past it. And so she was able to, because we don't get past it until we acknowledge it and validate it that it was wrong and it wasn't our fault. That's when her life started to change. And so that's kind of what I hear you saying. And I've even as a coach for so many years, I had a recent of sabotaging my business. And I knew it was
yeah.
me because we're coaches,
Yeah.
but I couldn't figure it out. And I realized, even though in my head I knew what it was, my body was still holding on to it. There
Hmm.
was something that was physically happening to me when I got to that place, when I was able to hug myself, key into the self-love, which a lot of people have a hard time with. So many women have self-loathing. Then it began to open the doors. And it's just that connection of even when we think we know things, sometimes we just need a
Hmm.
coach. We need a wellness person to help us to put the eyes on it lovingly and help us get to where we can acknowledge it, validate it, and move past it.
Yeah, and I love that you had mentioned that because I think that's one of the most important things about having a coach and having a person that can hold space and can really objectively see things because even us as coaches, we can understand it intellectually, but there's something else going on that until somebody says, well, like kind of showing you other sides of it or showing you what it's creating, then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that. And so it's so important even as coaches to have coaches to help us with those moments because we're all at the end of the day human and we all have a human brain. And it's really hard sometimes to see when we're in it, like objectively see everything.
Yeah, I remember in college there was a counselor, and he always said a good counselor is well counseled. And I've
Mm,
taken that to coaching. I always say if you're going to hire a coach and they don't have a coach, don't hire them. Only
yeah.
hire a coach that has a coach.
Yes, yes, and that's so true. It's we can do as much work as we can do, but it is really, really important to if you want to go on to the next level or if you want to see beyond certain things, it is really helpful to have somebody there, whether it's a therapist or a coach, whatever you need. And one of the things that I liked that you said also was how your mind and your body were a little incongruent, right? One of them said one thing and the body said the other. And it took you to like take a step back and really self-love. And sometimes it's self-forgiveness. And it's okay we feel the way we feel or how we had felt. It's okay. But we're also going to forgive ourselves and not have shame or negativity around that too. That can be really, really releasing and just have a different energy that comes through that.
And for me, it was generational because when I
Mm,
was growing up, women didn't talk about money. We didn't have very many women business owners. And then once I understood it, my body was still playing low, going, oh, you can't make money. You're so right. And it's like whether it's our own thoughts or something that's been programmed or a generation, the time that we grow up and what we learned then. Because even I tell my kids, when the first kid was born, they said, always put your baby on their stomach. So I did. The
yeah.
second kid always put them on their back, never put them on their stomach. And the third kid always put them on their side. Don't ever. We do what we learn and that's what we know, but then sometimes it changes and we have to shift. And that's not always easy, especially as we get older.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that you brought up the baby thing because I don't have kids, but I watched my little nephew and niece for a while and that's so true. It's like that they tell you all these things and from one day to the next it could change and it's good to have that openness. I used to be somebody that was like if I believed in this, I have to stick to it and I have to find evidence for it and now I allow myself to have that space to hold two different opinions at the same time to change my mind on a whim. It's okay. And I think sometimes prior, my old self would say, "Well, I don't know me if I don't have these values and beliefs very solid, right?" And now I'm like, "No, that's part of me. That's part of me expanding and evolving and having and holding two things at the same time and being okay with that." And I think sometimes we can get caught up on, well, what do we believe or who are we? And we are who we are, and it's okay to change your mind and it's okay to have one opinion and then have somebody bring in new information and change that opinion. And it's okay too to have somebody bring in information and keep and hold two different opinions and have two different sides to things. That's something that I've had to learn throughout my life and my journey. That right there has really freed me from a lot of mind chatter about who I was and what I thought I was.
That's beautiful because I feel like sometimes we're so invested in being right that we lose relationship.
Yes.
Tell us about what you offer, how people can work with you.
Yes. Right now, I do in-person and virtual workshops. I am kind of switching, so anybody can reach out to me for one-on-one coaching, but I am working on creating a new platform and building that out where it is going to be a space where it's a monthly membership. I'm going to have the Reiki, I'm going to have the releasing work, I'm going to have the workshops. And then if you wanted to do one-on-one coaching within that, you can as well. That is coming out, and I have so many ideas and so many amazing things for it. And I want to make it really affordable for somebody to be able to come in weekly, have a healing session done, have a releasing session done, get more insight on mindset awareness and body awareness, somatic practices, have guest speakers come on and talk and just get like what you want out of that week. And we're going to have workshops weekly, journal prompts, things like that within. And if you wanted to go deeper and get coaching, then it would be a different price. But I really wanted to make something that anybody can pay for monthly. It'll be, I'm sure if you're a coffee drinker, I live in Seattle, so it's like it's less than my how much I spend in coffee per month. To really be surrounded by this loving space, this accepting space where non-judgmental, you just come as you are, bring what you have. We cry, laugh, whatever it is needed for that day and for you, and we're going to honor that at a price that you can afford. And then if you wanted, to really dive in and go deeper, then there's going to be that option within that space as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about, some of the healing workshops that I'll be doing as well in person. If anybody's in the area, they can always reach out to me. Right now, I just want everybody to reach out to my email if possible, because I am kind of working on moving my platform.
And what's your email address so they could at least get signed up?
Yes. So Coach Felicia at unleashedandaligned.org.
All right, Felicia, tell us about your podcast because they can go listen to that right now. Tell us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So it's the Unleashed and Aligned, and the and is the and sign. So Unleashed and Aligned. It is really the space that I wanted to bring mindset awareness, bring some somatic awareness. And I have different people coming in that are talking about their stories of becoming unleashed and aligned. They are talking about their genius zone and giving more insight on what they do. Some of them are actually going through a process with the audience. And then I added this monthly theme. So I have different themes on topics that are maybe a little difficult to talk about, or maybe just some topics that people want more information on, but they're scared or they don't know how to ask somebody. So I've created like this series where I have people come on that are either going through the experience, they're living the experience, and I'm super excited to bring that awareness to people. And the most thing that I get out of these is just like being kinder to one another and having empathy, because we really don't know what's going on in somebody else's world. And I think that this is a great insight for people. It's great awareness, education, and hopefully inspiration that I'm bringing to the public. And so that's really what I want to do. I just want to inspire, bring awareness, and hopefully educate in these episodes.
Can I offer you a coaching?
Yes.
You are. You are doing
Oh,
it. You say you want to, but you are. You said yes. What is so beautiful is podcasting is a way people can go and find out if you're the person they want to work with. They'll get the sense of who you are.
yes.
What has been the coolest thing about once you interview someone?
One thing that I really love, and I love connecting, and I have created so many more friends from this. Literally have somebody that I text all the time, and that's been great. But one thing that I really love is that it's opened my mind. I feel like when I've approached business, I used to approach it as, what does the client want? What can I bring to people that they want? And when I actually approach it as, what is it like evolving me? How is this helping me? I feel like then that in turn helps other people, because we're like learning together. As I'm having these interviews with people, I'm expanding my mind. I'm learning things. I'm realizing how I've shown up in a way that maybe I don't want to, or I've gotten information that I didn't before, and now I want to advocate on something. And so I feel like talking to people and understanding other people's perspectives has really helped me evolve. It's helped me be more empathetic to people and just have this broader view of what's going on and how much you don't know what's going on with other people, and how to just be really kind and holding space for people on a different level than I connected with before. The reason why I wanted to have interviews is because so many people inspired me just talking to them in groups. And so I was like, well, I want you to come on because you inspire me. And it's like, wow, it's like this heightened level of inspiration that I get, and this heightened level of awareness that I get, like peeking into somebody else's life. An example of that is I just interviewed a mom of a lady who her daughter has a rare disease. She's like number 98 on this rare disease. She was a single mom for 4 years, and she has overcome so many obstacles, and she's has to do all these things because her child can't, feed herself or walk. And it just made me have a new appreciation not only of how like I'm functionable, but also the energy and the strength and the endurance that this person has. It's made me want to push harder and be more because I'm like, there's no excuse. That I don't have a lot of these challenges that some people have. And I'm hoping that that spark that helps me like drive and do more and be more, I hope that that reaches other people when they listen to the interviews as well.
I feel like also like the big podcasts with the famous people, we all get to hear their stories, but
Yeah.
we are providing a platform for stories that are local because when people get to share their stories, there's going to be one person that's like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So if people want to work with you, they go to your email.
Yes. Coach Felicia at unleashedandaligned.org. That's ORG.
And I love how we talked about unleashed and aligned because I love that. It's not like just balance. I don't believe in balance because it changes whatever our phase of life, but it's
Mhm.
like go a little crazy, but be in line with who you are. And I love that
Yes.
title.
I'm so happy. When I was trying to pick out a name, when I first started at this one company, I answered the phone really fast. And I've always been like, just like hyper, like, and so I answered the phone and really fast. I was like, blah, 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 this is Felicia. And I said it quick. I didn't realize how I said it. And everybody in the office at the time heard Flowisha and they started calling me Flo. And so they were like, always made fun of me, like, oh, this is Flowisha. So I originally was going to name my business Go with the Flow and just spell FLO. But I was like, no, that's like, it's too kind of cutesy. I really want something that's like empowered and embodied and, but also like spiritual and like centered. And so I'm glad that you said the way you said it, because it was exactly like the vision that I had is like, let's like unleash our badass self, but then we also like want to hone in on what's true to us and also like have that spirit inside of us shine through that soul.
And the way our podcasts get seen and heard is SEO. It's not Facebook, it's not Insta. I mean, we always want to post there, but what are people Googling? And those are words that people who are desperate are going to be Googling. And I love that.
Yes, yes. I actually didn't think of that, but yeah.
So, Felicia, this has been so great. And just getting to know you, I consider you a friend. What is it, before we go, that you really want us to know?
And I'm hoping that I can reach as many people with this as possible, but it is okay to love yourself and be your best friend. You just have to make the choice to. And I know in the road of feeling like you can't and being like, that's so far from my brain, but it really does boil down to making that choice and sticking to that choice. And some days are going to be harder than other days, but always constantly re-choosing to love yourself and to forgive yourself and be your best friend is something we can do every day. And the more we do it, the better we get at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. It's been a pleasure.
If you love this podcast, here's a big ask. Will you share with your friends and family, subscribe, give us a review, and a 5-star rating so that others looking to reinvent their lives will be able to get the help they're looking for? Thank you in advance.